Okay, we're ready to install the drive into the big fat dummy bike frame now. So first thing you have to do is you have to thread the drive up through the frame. So you see I'm angling it in. And you got one jack shaft above this frame tube and one below. This frame tube complicates things by being recessed out of the way of the chain line, so certainly did that just for consideration of the pedal bike, and that was one of the things that made this particularly challenging. Is you have three tubes that are diagonals and then this one that runs straight to the chain line. So the first thing you have to do is to kind of thread the drive into place. And then the next step is to attach the rubber grommets onto the back side of this half of the drive to attach it to the frame. So I have those ready. So again, you have to angle the drive back. This particular bike has the rolling jackass stand on it, which is a really nice stand, and I designed the drive to allow space for it. It makes it, having it on the bike makes it a little bit harder. Without this here, it'd be easy. You just, put the drive up through this wide space at the back. But there's still, even with the rolling jackass stand in place, you can still thread the drive into place. So these are the four different grommets that are going to hold that left-hand outer plate. And this is the one with the notch. So that this one is the top front on the left side. This one has spacers with the small bore, so this is the top rear on the left side. This one has the large bore, no spacers, and I misspoke. The front lower grommets on both sides are very thin. The frame rail comes very close to touching the drive at that point, so the grommets, you can identify the grommets for the lower front on both sides because they're very thin. Both of them taper way down because of the tight clearance right there. So I am going to attach the grommets and then I'll be back. So there are all four of the left side urethane grommets installed. You can see this top one is the thick one with the notch. The notch is at the top. The lower bolt is out because that is going to go to the chain tensioner on the other side. This one has a steel back plate and the spacers, and it's a small bore. You can see the upper tube is a smaller diameter than the lower tube. This front one, no spacer, thin on the back side, and the lower one is the thick tube with the spacers on the back, and all of them, the slot in the grommet follows the direction of the frame tube, so you can see that they're all oriented correctly, so the spacing is right here. I just have everything loosely inserted. I put the nuts on finger tight on the back side just to kind of hold it together until I can get more of it put together. These two lower bolts, there's a through, a tapped standoff that goes the full width of the drive as the spacer is tapped on the ends, and those thread onto the lower ones, front and rear. They're a space standoff like the one on the top, and it helps keep the spacing on the drive correct. So looking at the left plate from the back side, you can see that upper rear grommet is held on with two nylock nuts. The front upper is also held on with two nylock nuts. The lower one is going to hold the chain tensioner on. The front lower
It has that threaded standoff spacer going the full width, and then an eye-lock nut on the top, and then the bottom rear has again that tapped standoff and an eye-lock nut at the top. So that is all the correct hardware. Next thing is going to be the tensioner. And there is the spring clip and the spring attached to the tensioner. So there's a hole at the top of the tensioner arm there. So you just hook the spring to that hole and then across to the spring clip. That will keep the tensioner wheel up where it needs to be, so you won't have to take it back off again when you put the motor on. I find it can be a little bit difficult to get the spring onto the clip. I grab the end of the spring with a pair of needle nose and just pull it over and rotate the spring clip up so that I can get the spring end into it. But this is the most difficult part of the whole installation. So from here on in, it's just adding parts. You know, the drive is basically in now, so now we just have to finish off.
So to prep the right hand outer plate for installation, you want to pull the two bearing housings off of the plate and slide them onto the ends of the two jack shafts. Pull the installation grommets off the inside, and also take off those two little spacers I told you about, because you're going to need the room to slide this onto the two jack shafts. So you have to pull the tensioner down so that it doesn't hit the frame. Feed the plate in over the two lower standoffs and the lower jack shaft axle. And now it's in place. And then I thread the top bolt in for the threaded standoff, and that holds everything together so that you can continue working. Keep it loose, because you have to be able to move the plate around to get those rubber grommets back in behind the plate.
Okay, I have the main body of the drive installed now. I've got the two inside and the two outside attachment grommets all connected on this side. The bottom ones are connected to the threaded standoffs, front and rear. The two top ones go to an eye-lock nuts. I've got the jack shafts in place with the little standoff spacers. You can see how it just sticks out a little bit farther than in the face of the plate, and that keeps the backside of the sprocket and pulley hub from rubbing. On the inside plates, you can see that this grommet has a relief at the back side of it for this curving tube. So when you install that flat interior grommet, watch for the relief for that curving tube. And this back one follows the slope, the curve of the tube a bit. So on the front side, the rubber grommet has a relief to fit the motor plate. So you see the top of that front grommet is thinner than the bottom of it is, and it was molded in place to fit onto this front motor plate. So that's also the thing to watch for when you install that.
So preparing for installing the motor, I've pulled the right side motor plate off. I backed these bolts out, removed the two big M8 bolts, and pulled off this side plate. I'm going to come in from the other side, in from the left, put the lower pivot bolt in and attach the upper slide adjuster, and that'll get the motor into place. And then I'll put the right motor plate back onto it. So main things you have to do is just take off this plate, get this just sort of loosely in place, and you'll see there's a frame lug right here, and the mount is cut. The urethane grommet is cut out to accommodate that lug. So
So 2 bolts and the motor is loosely installed. I just finger tightened the upper bolt. The lower bolt I tightened down enough to keep the motor from wanting to swing forward. So that one lower mount pivot bolt there is fairly snug, not super tight. And you see that I still have the motor case bolts backed out. And I'm going to leave those loose until we get the belt adjusted and tighten the adjuster down and both pivot bolts, and then I'll also tighten the case down because the case clamps in on the motor bracket, and that grabs the adjuster bolt. So it's good to get everything all set up first before tightening it down. Left side motor plate installed. I've got all of the case bolts loosely attached just to get everything lined up and in place. Nothing is tightened down yet. Next step will be to install the pulley and sprocket and then the guards, and then basically we are done.
So the drive's completely reassembled now, other than putting the guards back on. That's really very simple. I think I don't even think I really need to show you how to do that. The belt tension is, it's kind of by feel. You need to have a little bit of flex. It's not rock hard, but you want the line of the belt to be fairly straight. You don't want it to be bulging because then it's loose, and it needs to have some tension to it. The one case bolt that doesn't come all the way through with the nut is directly underneath this lower run of belt, and it conflicted, so I didn't bring that one all the way through, but the rest of them clear. It's important to tighten all of the flathead bolts behind the pulley and sprockets before you put them into place. They're not accessible. Those heads are not accessible after those pieces are installed, so you need to get those tightened down. Basically, now that everything is in place, I just go around. These are still a little bit loose. All these accessible grommets, I finished tightening them off, tighten the case bolts down, make sure the pivot bolts are tight. So you want to just get everything nice and snug, and then it should hold its adjustment really well. And the drive is really in there. It's a extremely solid mounting system, and it's also, it's like the motor mounts on a car. It is rubber insulated, so it soaks up a little bit of vibration at the same time.